Humans can be turned off, but humans cannot be defeated. As long as humans are still loyal to their own hearts. As long as the sun rises from the east, as long as the earth is still inhabited by humans, and during that time Psht will be victorious forever. Memayu Hayuning Bawono. The foundation and goals of the Terate Faithful Brotherhood organization participate in educating virtuous people who know right and wrong and participate in Memayu Hayuning Bawono. It also teaches pencak silat martial arts, which contains elements of sport and martial arts and is a cultural art of the Indonesian nation that needs to be cultivated, develop and preserve. A virtuous human being is a good human being, whose presence is able to create peace, security, peace and inner and outer happiness. The weak feel protected and the strong do not feel rivaled. A person can be called good if his good deeds outweigh his bad deeds, even if the difference is small. Because no human being is free from sin except God's messengers. They are always looked after and kept away from despicable acts so that they can be used as role models for their people. Character can determine the value of human dignity. And if we look further, being virtuous can be divided into 4 types. Be virtuous towards God. We must believe that God places a human embryo in its mother's womb, then gives birth to the natural world and then raises it and gives blessings of incalculable value. He will also kill and resurrect him on the day of judgment. Humans always depend on God. Small examples are humans' inability to make even 1 drop of blood, let alone a lot. Human helplessness grows leaf cells on 1 tree, let alone all trees. Not knowing about solar fuel, let alone providing it. The knowledge of jinn and humans, if combined, would be no more than a drop of water in a vast ocean when compared to God's knowledge. So if humans want to think for a moment, they will definitely feel compelled or voluntarily to thank God. SWT. Expressing gratitude to God is not just believing in Him. If humans just believe but don't obey, then the devil will be better. Of course the devil is better. The devil believes in God more than humans because the devil has had direct dialogue with God but is still disobedient. Expressions of gratitude to God must be expressed in actions, namely by fulfilling God's rights so that God can also fulfill the rights of His servants. Be virtuous towards parents and teachers. Even though it is God who gives birth to humans equals the mother is only able to conceive. Because when the time comes for giving birth she will not be able to hold it. Or even though a mother wants to give birth, but if God has not willed it, then she will not be able to give birth to the baby. Proof of God's power this is, namely, there are mothers who give birth while on the way to the hospital or at times that the mother does not want. However, do not forget that mothers always welcome the birth of their babies with pain and blood. Sometimes even the babies are redeemed with his only life. And when his son was old enough, he handed him over to the teacher. Therefore, thanking parents and teachers is mandatory. Be virtuous to yourself. Fulfill physical and spiritual rights by maintaining health by eating good and halal food, avoiding haram food, drinking marijuana or other illegal drugs that damage the brain's nerves. Be virtuous towards all beings. Humans are social creatures, each other needs each other. The rich need the power of the poor and the poor need the help of the rich. The clever need the stupid and vice versa. This also applies between nations. Good and bad actions are a reflection of a person's nature. So a wise person will not humble himself by insulting others. A wise person always maintains his dignity and honor by helping other people, especially the weak. So, even if an act of violence occurs, it cannot be avoided. We must realize that a true warrior will not dream of injuring his opponent's body or heart. The violence was just to give a warning so that they have the opportunity to repent. And even though God allows repaying evil deeds with equal evil, however, God also offers another, better alternative, namely, forgiveness, because forgiveness brings you closer to piety. For this reason, the Terate Faithful Heart Brotherhood teaches crippin or locking techniques so that you can defeat your opponent without injuring, let alone killing. Killing each other without a justifiable reason is very serious, especially among fellow human beings. Meanwhile, an example of being virtuous towards plants is not destroying the environment. If you cut down trees in the forest, reforestation or replanting must be carried out.